It is always game day in Cleveland. He's Daryl Ryder. I'm Andy Baskin. Glad you are on board with us today as the Browns get set to take on the Indianapolis Colts. That game is in Indianapolis on Sunday, a road game for this team that hasn't been very much of a road warrior. They only had to make like a hour, 55-minute drive over to Pittsburgh for a road game this year. So they will hit the road. But big news coming out of Browns camp today, Daryl Ryder. By the way, we want to remind you that the show is brought to you locally by Smiley One and Bryant, Northeast Ohio's heating and cooling experts. Daryl, how are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Should we give everyone the behind the scenes before we get going here or no?
What's that?
Let's give everyone the behind the scenes so they'll give you a little sympathy to start things off here.
Oh, no. It's all right. So I had some dental surgery on Tuesday, 4 hours in the chair worth. And so we are doing our best to fight through it and get through it. It's a little better the day after. The problem is, like, I'm shaking because I'm starving. I can't eat. I'm on the pudding, Jello, cottage cheese, banana diet right now.
The soft foods. There you
go. And so, like, I have the shakes because I am starving, and I can't eat solid foods for like an entire week now. And the only thing I'm allowed to drink is water too. I can't have anything else other than that. So, yeah. So it's a lot of fun over here. I feel like a bounced check, and yeah, but we're at least today. Like, I was on Jonathan Peterlin's show Tuesday night, and the numbing in my face like didn't go away until like 10 minutes before I had to go on with him.
At least it went away.
And trying to enunciate, I can't project right now. That's why my voice is really super soft. I can't project right now. So trying to enunciate and pronounce things, very, very interesting these days. So let's not.
Who's that? Who's the Browns defensive end with 2 O's in his name? What's his name?
Obo Okoronkwo. And you officially, my friend, are off the Christmas list. I know you don't celebrate Christmas, but you, sir, have made the naughty list just for that.
Thank you. It was worth it. It was worth it. By the way, the naughty list sometimes seems to be the
Michelle and Jose Vizcaino in the same sentence too.
I'm not going to make you do that. I'm not going to make you do that. But
if Deshaun Watson 150 freaking times, though, right?
That you can do. There's no problems with
Corey Bojorquez.
You're doing all right. You're doing all right. Again, we love the feedback. We've been getting tons of it. Even the hate feedback on YouTube has been outstanding. I mean, rip away if you want to. We just don't even we laugh. We giggle at the good ones.
Mahmoud Diabate. I'm just going to go down the Browns pronunciation chart here just to make
sure. We're good. Let's get into some meat because there was actually some big news here today.
We got Khalif Herlassi.
Who's the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings?
Kwesi Adofie-Mensah.
There you go. All right, we can stop playing the name game here. Daryl, the big news that came out today was Deshaun Watson spoke, and I think you can take it a couple ways. One,
hallelujah. Sorry.
I think you can take it a couple ways. I think that he ended the drama by speaking today. At least there's some clarity to what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, we know how he got hurt, and it was that third down, or I should say that 10-yard run against Tennessee in the third quarter when it was right before Jerome Ford's touchdown with about 6 minutes or so to play when Titan safety Amani Hooker got him in the shoulder. So he confirmed that. He confirmed the specificity of the injury and that he's got micro tears and a strain, or a strain, I should say, not and. It's the same injury. The micro tears describe the specific strain in his rotator cuff. So we know that. Here's the interesting thing, because I asked him specifically about the timetable, because that's always been the thing that has vexed me with this particular injury.
Good word, man. Vexed? Who drops a vexed into a conversation?
Nice so, job. Apparently the good stuff is taking effect that I'm on. But he said it could be a 4 to 6 week injury. Well, guess what week we're in right now?
4-3-4-ish.
We're in week 4. So I found that to be interesting because that's all we've heard for the last couple. Oh, it's day to day, day to day. This is, by the way, I think the longest day to day injury in history.
So go ahead. I'm gonna ask you a question as soon as it's over because
Yeah,
something doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
I know. So it's the longest day to day injury ever. And Watson said he's aware that these rotator cuff injuries are 4 to 6 week deals. Well, this is now week 4. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't practice on Wednesday. We still don't
Mm-hmm.
know when he's going to practice again. We still don't know when he's going to play again. Kevin Stefanski sticking with day to day. I think those are his 3 favorite words: day to day. I think he says them in his sleep,
Mm-hmm.
but not ruling him out for the Colts game either. So God help them if PJ Walker is starting. I say that tongue in cheek, but also with a little bit of seriousness. So, this is week 4 of this thing. So that tells me we're on the back end, that he is getting closer, and, we'll see. But so there was a little clarity. We learned a little bit, not a lot, but at least Deshaun got out there, answered some questions about it. The biggest takeaway I took from this, Andy,
Mm-hmm.
was the timeline because again, I asked him, when did you find out about this?
Mm-hmm.
And he said the night before the Ravens game, because they needed the week for the swelling in the shoulder to go down. They
Mm-hmm.
took the MRI, and the Saturday before the Ravens game, remember Kevin Stefanski's telling all the national insiders, "Hey, Deshaun's going
He's
to play."
playing. He's playing. Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Everything's fine. And then
Right.
turns out he didn't go. And he did explain that the MRI came back, showed the injury, wasn't great, but because he had made that verbal commitment to the team that he was going to play, he decided to go out on. He convinced them, "Hey, let me throw Sunday morning. Let me see how this thing's looking and feeling and whatever." And I think the Browns knew right then and there going in that it wasn't gonna happen, I should say. So at least we got clarity on timeline, on injury severity, and when things happened and all that. The only thing we don't have an answer to is when he's going to practice and when he's going to play again. He said it could be tomorrow. It could be a week from now, 2 weeks from now. It won't be the whole season, obviously. But he's not worried about injuring it anymore. And he is also not worried about not just injuring it more, but he's not going to get overly concerned that this is something where he's going to do additional damage.
So, Daryl, here's my question for you, and we'll get deeper into the Deshaun Watson things. It was May of 2022. The NFL came up with a rule that no longer told players that they have to be out for the entire season on IR and that they only had to be out for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they knew that and they knew this injury was a micro tear as soon as it happened, would it have not been more beneficial to put him on the IR?
Oh, absolutely. But, well, I shouldn't say absolutely. It would have given him an extra roster spot. They, I really think that they just kept holding out hope that he's just going to go.
Okay.
I mean, if he doesn't play against Indianapolis, then I think that's where that becomes a real tangible discussion, right? Because now you do get into that 4-week window of you could
Well,
have.
now you're looking that's a 2-month out with this then,
But
right?
you,
Because once you put him on the IR, there's no retro like baseball.
no. What I'm saying is, you get into next week if he's not able to play again. My point
Then
is,
you were
then it's good to look in hindsight and say they should have done this. But because this is only the 3rd game with his injury, right?
Mhm.
I get them wanting to do the day-to-day thing, but I still say this is like the longest day-to-day injury in history.
It is. All right, more on Deshaun Watson and more on what this means going into the Indy game and talking about some of the struggles the Browns have had after a win. Interesting stat. We'll give that to you next. It's always game day in Cleveland.